Hi folks, welcome to my Bit Retro Journal. I'm working on my PowerBook 180, and this is my Cambridge Z88, and this is for Macintosh 2024. This Cambridge Z88 was my portable laptop in the 90s. Of course, I didn't have a laptop. I had a Mac 2SI, which was, I think, very similar in configuration to this in terms of its speed. I did change the oscillator chip to sort of improve its speed. And so I don't remember if it was a 25 megahertz, 68 or 30, but it was definitely a nice machine, and I had it for almost a decade. And I do recall hooking this up to my 2SI. And I thought I had a cable for this, but I could not find it. The only cable I could find was this one, which is obviously it's a telephone cable, so it only has 4 wires, and this actually follows the advice of the book. The book here basically says, so this is the manual, and the book basically says, for simple RS-232 use, connect pins 5, 8, and 9, and connect pins 2, 3, and 7 to the other computer. So transmit, receive, and ground. And that's what this cable here does. So I tried this initially with this computer by taking basically on the end of this, which is like an 8. This is a DIN 8, and the other end had just 8 wires, and I actually just crimped a telephone cable on there. It didn't work. I was like, all right, that doesn't work. So then I ended up trying to find a ton of different examples of how to do this, and kind of struggled with this a bit. This is the first one that I found, and turns out that did not come from a Macintosh site. So this was a DIN 8, but not for the Mac. Then I found some other sites. And I looked at this at first, but I found another site that basically I took the same picture, and I found this mapping right here. This is the same picture as the one I just showed, but I found this mapping here, and so that's what this current cable is. And there's one other site that is very similar, but what it says instead is that instead of 2 going to 8, 2 goes to 6. Yeah. It changed one or 2 pins. I think it didn't have. I forget what it did, but it changed 1 pin, or 2 pins, and I think it said 6 goes through 6, and then 2 didn't have 8, I think, or something like that. Anyways, so there's just a ton of these out there, and again, the Macintosh cable is so weird because it has transmit negative and transmit positive and receive, and they map to eventually to standard serial. But again, I struggled with that. And on top of that, I have this breakout box that is 25 pin. So I had to keep remapping everything from 9 pin to 25 pin. And I figured it out. And then I found this document, which basically had, here's the Z88 9 pin, and then here's a DIN 8, and I followed this literally. I plugged it in for both scenarios, for this one and the one that had 1 or 2 pins different, and did all the mappings and stuff. Didn't work. I was about to give up. And then once again, I just tried this configuration on the cable. And well, the other thing I tried is I turned extensions off, because I was wondering. I tried a Z term on this, and it kept saying the ports are busy. So I booted up with extensions off, and it still said the ports are busy. So I don't know if Z term is the right terminal program for this computer. But after turning extensions off, And before I turned extensions off, I actually, instead of turning extensions off, I actually removed, where is it? In here, it had the Express modem. So I removed that software as well as all the extensions that are associated with that, which is Express modem and Express modem tool. That didn't work. So then I just booted off. So right now this is booted off with extensions off. And I was like, let's try that. And it started to, the Z modem or the PC link on this started to get errors and stuff in it, acknowledgement errors. And so I went with, this very simple transmit, receive, ground, and pins 5, 8, and 9 together. And it still didn't work. But then my ground wire popped up. Because, these things, they're old. And they don't always sort of stick. And as soon as my ground wire popped up, it worked. So I don't understand. So right now, the only thing I've got connected between these two machines is receive and send, but not the ground. Now, I don't know if this box, if the shield, which is pin 1, if that's being transferred over. So if that's how it gets its ground. But right now, it's pin 2 and 3. And that's it. And then on this side, I've got pins 5, 8, and whatever this said. I've got pins 5, 8, and 9 connected together so that this guy can work, regardless of who he's connected to. But on this side, I only have receive and send going. But you generally need a ground to finish the loop. So the only thing I can think of is the shield. But so I don't know. Because there's a pin 1 here, but there's no way to connect pin 1 to this side. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know how it finishes the loop, but that's how I got it to work. And let me demonstrate that to you. So the way this works, I've got this already open. So this is the Z88 to Mac program that came with this machine, which it came with a manual and a floppy disk, and so the manual kind of tells you how you're supposed to run it, and and so I installed it on here, and so I've got it running, and you have to start this one up first, and see, I've already been playing around with this. So if I start this up, and then have L running. And change drive. Yeah, as you can see, it sees Z88. Oh, it's no longer responding. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I don't have the thing running. Index. Oh, I think the machine froze up again, which is doing quite a lot. So the PC Link software seems to cause the the Z88 to freeze up a lot. So if I go now, if I do L, it's running, and now if I click, oops, not here, so drive. There it is. And here we got the Z88 running, RAM 0, RAM 1, and I've got a couple of programs that I wrote in Pipedream. I already did the Hello World one, which just did, I can show it again. If I, do I still have it on here? Or no, I deleted it. So if I convert this Pipedream to MacWrite and put this on my desktop folder, I can just say transfer. I guess I have it there, replace existing one. And hide it. That's right there. And then I can use Microsoft, I don't have MacWrite, but I can use Microsoft Word and open this up and go to the desktop and I'll read hello. Yeah, it's just Hello World, which is the same thing as on Pipedream. However, if I want to, let me close this one. I don't want to change it. Let's save it. Let me hide Word. Let me bring this one back. I did one with a font test, so let me do that one. I haven't looked at this one yet, so I'm going to transfer it. And I'm going to hide it. And unfortunately, it won't let me. It's just going to say, so I have to load it in from Word. I'm sure I could get MacWrite on Macintosh Garden, but I mean, I only use it for this. So fonts, and you can see that I'm able to do normal text, underlined text, bold text, italicized text, superscript and subscript, extended text. I don't know what this is supposed to be, and then alternate text. So these are all the texts you can do now. I'm not going to show you what this looks like, but on the Z88, it does show underlined, bold, italicized. It doesn't show superscript or subscript. It just puts a tag, like I think it's the number 5 and the number 6 in front of it. It shows extended text as dimmed, and then again, it just puts a tag 3, I think, an alternate. Like it'll put the number 3 in front before. So some of this you can actually see, and this gives you sort of what you see is what you get, but some of it you can't. But as you can see, thinking about, the late 80s, early 90s, and when, I know this came out in 91, but these were super expensive, and if you had a desktop Mac, which is about half the price of these PowerBooks, and you get this Z88, it was actually a pretty nice deal to be able to, plus this has tremendous battery life, and it's so light that this was actually a really cool deal to have in order to just kind of walk around with it and be able to type. And I actually did. I wrote some stuff on it, and I recall transferring it over to the Mac, but I must have used this cable, but then I must have had a DIN 8 to this as well. So I thought I had made this just for the QL, because when you're talking about just send and receive and ground, this should work. But I tried, that's the first thing I tried, and I couldn't get it to work. So it was just the oddest thing, to get this to work. Am I going to create an actual permanent cable? Well, I don't know. If I can find another DIN 8 connector, maybe I'll do one where I hook it to another, to one of these, so that I can, because this will allow me to hook it from here to the QL as well. Because that's the other thing I want. I want to see if the terminal program works. Now this has a terminal program as well, but the problem is, again, this is with extensions turned off. And let me show you what the problem is. And maybe someone can have some advice on this. Oh, and by the way, just to look at this program, what else can it do? It can do conversions from Pipedream to WKS, which is so Pipedream. If you don't know the Z88, and I had done a previous video that shows the Z88. I'm going to put it in the link up here so you can watch it. But Pipedream is this sort of weird editor that looks like a text editor, but it's at the same time it's also a spreadsheet. So it's just this hybrid program where you can either turn each line into cells and turn them into spreadsheets, or you can just type and it just appear as it has a look and feel of a text editor, but you can also store things in column format, and then it becomes a spreadsheet. And so WKS is for, I'll put it in the comments. I don't know what, is it one of the Macintosh spreadsheet programs before Excel came out? And then they allow you to, Z88 is BBC Basic, so I'm not sure why they're doing that. And did the Mac have a BBC Basic? I guess maybe. Yeah. And you can also transfer things to the Mac from, I suppose, let me do, if I copy this, file, duplicate, change this to fonts 2, and I think what I can do is I can hit the drive key on this. It goes to RAM 0, and then I can go hit the drive key on this, and it'll go desktop folder. And now I can take, oh, I don't do that. Oh, it doesn't see the other ones. I was going to transfer fonts 2 over, but it doesn't see it. Oh, maybe no conversion. Oh, there we go. Now I can see it. Fonts 2. And I'm just going to transfer it over. And here it'll copy it over to, yeah, it's slow. It's not a very big file, but it's going to copy it over to the Z88, and then in a Z88 I should be able to, I guess the question is, can you see this? And if I do pipe dream and then command and load and fonts 2, and it loaded up. Well, it loaded garbage, so that didn't work. That's interesting. So if I go menu, load, fonts, that worked. But fonts 2 didn't. It's just a copy. Menu, load, no. Menu, load. Oh, I'm hitting the tab key. Fonts 2. Nope, it's garbage. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because I literally just made a duplicate copy of this, so I'm not sure why it would not work. But yeah, let me show you, before I just wanted to demo this for Macintosh. Oh, this has come loose. But what I wanted to also show is, I'm going to quit this, turn that off. And so if you've used Z modem, my question to you is, so the app is closed. I just have Microsoft Word open, and I downloaded Z-Term I should say. And what I don't understand is, it literally sits here and says, modem port is not available. Please select another port. Printer port is not available. Please select another port. Internal mode is not available. Please. What the heck is going on here? Is this? I don't even know what version this is. It's 9. Does it have a year on it? 1904, 1992, which is in line with this Macintosh being 1991. So why is Z-Term not being able to read anything? And this is also true if I have extensions on. So I can't. So I'm going to look for another one called MacTerm. If you know of a better one, because one of the other Macintosh videos I want to do is play around with the internal modem and create a telephone line, and same with the QL. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you that I was able to get my Z88 connected to my Macintosh. I must have used this cable back in the 90s, and I must have had a DIN. I assume that Mac 2SI had a DIN 8, but it must have had a DIN 8 cable that hooked to the Macintosh and then connected it. Because I did a lot of my cables using, if I could get away with only two or three wires in this case, send, receive, and ground. I did a lot of my cables using this so that I could modularly plug them in QL, my Mac 2SI, and then the Z88. But yeah, no, I got it to work. But it was very odd because the only connection this thing has is send and receive, and there's no ground because the signal ground would have been 5 to 7. And there is a 1 pin that doesn't go here. So my thinking is maybe it's connecting the shield, and that's causing the ground. That's the only thing I can think about. I think that it's perhaps doing so. If you have any ideas, that would be just post them in the comment. But yeah, success with Z88. It's a cool machine. Like I said, I've done a video on it if you want to see it. But just want to show you that these things can communicate, and also that what a headache it is to create a serial port out of this weird DIN. It's not an RS-232, it's like an RS-4 something interface, which I guess allows networking maybe. So I would love to hear some comments on this, because I thought I knew the Macintosh in terms of having played with the serial ports back with the 2SI, but man, this was way more complicated than I wanted to. All right, I'm going to end here. Thanks for joining me for this Macintosh. It's kind of a little bit of a mess of a video, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'll see you soon.